Thank you so much for agreeing to take part in this interview. We appreciate your time, Sis Bongile. And I will begin my interview just to ask you. I know you were an accountant. You left your job and you
So I was
started
with Deloitte.
rooftop farming.
Yes, I started doing farming, but with the farming, the passion started when we were still growing up. My dad used to do a school garden at the school where he was teaching. So he used to show us how to do it, and then he'll say, you must train other community members on how to do it. So it was more of food gardens in the high school and the primary school where you was in charge as a teacher. So that passion never left us. I think it's a seed that he planted. So when I looked at the situation where they were saying there's food shortage and all that, then I said, no, when I retire, my retirement plan is to actually be part of the producers of food and also engage people in seed saving and also having home gardens. Because I mean, when we grew up, there were home gardens. People were eating from their own gardens. And that has been replaced by concrete now because people are now using paving all over the house or they're putting grass. So we're encouraging people to say, decorate your backyards with food gardens.
Right. Just for you to get a little deeper and for us to just paint the picture. So just tell us about Mcebo Fresh Veggie Rooftop Farming.
Yeah, Mcebo Fresh Veggie Rooftop Farm, it's a farm that we farming using a system called hydroponics. It's a way of growing food using water. So we don't use the soil. We use a unit called a nutrient film, which you put in your seedlings, and they are grown through nutrients in the water. And it circulates the water on the roots and it grows like that. So it's called hydroponics. So we don't use soil at all, but we use coconut. You see the coconut, the covering, the brown side of the coconut.
Yes.
When it's grated, they call it coco peat. Yes. So that grated material is high in calcium. So we use it as soil. Instead of using the real soil. Yeah, because it's very high in nutrients. So we use that. With the rooftop, the plan was to save space because now in the inner city, the challenge is space. And with the land being still a challenge where we're still looking for bigger farms to actually expand, we said let's maximize the rooftop.
So you mentioned hydroponics, and I just want to ask, with regards to the resources that you use, for example, I'm sure you use water in your operation, and I'm interested to find out how do you minimize your water use?
We actually minimize the usage of water because the water circulates within the system. So we save a lot of water, unlike with the normal irrigation system where it has to be constantly watering and you can't recycle the water. So with the hydroponics, the water circulates within the system until the whole process, like if you're having a 20 days produce, in 20 days, you've just refilled a little bit of water to circulate in the system. So your cost of water usage is very low. The space as well, because with the 3 tunnels that we're using, we set up on 300 square meters. And the production level, we're looking at 3,600 crops from this 300 square meters. You see, so you save on water, you save on space, and also with the reduction of carbon footprint is that people don't have to be going through the whole food chain. The trucks must come and deliver. People come and pick and go and cook. So it shortens the footprint of the whole value chain where it still has to go to a truck and a truck takes it to the market it goes to to your retail store. From your retail store, you come and buy at your retail store, then you take it home. So it's from your farm to your plate.
Do you need any like sort of structures or tools or machinery? Nothing as such in the operation?
The system that we're using, because it uses a system called NFT. So that system is the one that you must have, and it's actually expensive to set up, but once you have it, it's for life. It's the one where you put in your pots to plant, and then you also have your water running through it. So it's a growing system that you use for your hydroponics. So it's part of your resource. Mm-hmm. So instead of land and hectares, you're growing them on this Mali tiles that have got holes, and you put in cups to grow the plants.
How many people do you employ in the business, Sis Bongi?
It's 6 permanent and 12 temporary. They only come for planting and harvesting, because there's lots of work when we're planting. Imagine planting each pot of 3,500 crops at a go. What happens with the trainings that we offer? We actually looking at youth, because I know youth love smart farming. When you say to them, let's go and do farming on the soil, they're not interested, most of them. But when it's smart farming, so what we do, we have trainings for them for smart farming, and also young women that want to learn on how to do hydroponics farming. And now with the COVID, what we're doing online trainings now. It's not like before where we would meet once on a Saturday as members and farmers and discuss issues going forward. So that also helps with having a network of farmers, and you work together and you're actually able to secure contracts together.
I've been seeing a number of articles about the work that you do and some awards that you have won. You're doing amazing work in your community. And I just want to understand, Uguti, how do you measure the impact that your business has?
You'll be surprised that, you do things, and I always say my slogan is we change in communities one day at a time. And currently we've even moved to a children's home in Eikenhof, which is the south of Johannesburg, where we are now incubating 12 young women, training them on hydroponics farming and organic farming. So I think the impact has actually shown itself, because the interest has grown, especially with the young women, because we've been trying to push and say, can we get young women to participate in the agricultural space?
I love that you are targeting young people, because often there's always this notion amongst us young people that like maybe farming is for the poor, or maybe it's like maybe outdated. We've made
cool. Farming very cool for them. For 2021, we've taken 12, and then next year we want to take 24. God willing, the corona won't be a challenge, because we had to limit it to 12 because of the COVID-19 protocols, to say we can't have a bigger group. But we're looking at 24 next year of young women. And the ones that we are training this year, by end of December, one of the things that they must do is go back to the communities and start their own community training for their communities. So you train a trainer.
Oh, wow. You train a trainer. I love that. I can imagine the challenges that you may face. We mentioned climate-related challenges, but then how do you then make sure that, let's say, you're using natural products for pesticides, for example?
Oh, yes. For pesticides, we use the very same products that we're growing. Like for aphids, we use chilies. You grind your chilies and put it in water, then you use that to spray your plants. And also intercropping with flowers. There's a flower called nasturtium It's a edible flower. It's the one when you go to a restaurant, they'll put on your dessert. So when you're planting, you need to intercrop with that because it repels pests from your garden.
There's no way you're going back to accounting, hey? You're not going back to accounting for sure. The way you speak so passionately about what you do.